Hi, so on the previous video I was talking about my favourite players from 85 to 90. So we kind of started in 75, 85 and then 85 to 90. That was my core time of development. Like I say, as the 90s wore on, I didn't sort of dig out as much new guitar. Just one player I missed out was Ty Tybor's King's X, whose riffage is stellar. But what I found myself doing, because of the change in music fashion, I found myself going back to the stuff that got me into metal. And one guitarist I really got turned back onto, but more deeply, around 93 onwards, was Uli John Roth. And he would be one of my new top 10 players. He's a guy, I did principally just the Scorpion stuff. I mean, I listen to his solo stuff, but it's not always an easy listen, that. But that Scorpion stuff, principally the In Trance, Virgin Killer, Taken by Force and the Tokyo Tapes live album are phenomenal, and Fight the Rainbow is really good. I just think he's such an innovator, so I love his solos. Also around this time, probably a little before that, I'd kind of got back into Michael Schenker. About 91, I'd heard a cover of All the Way to Memphis with his band Contraband on a program called The Power Hour, and I was just like blown away by his playing again. And my mate bought the Live at Budokan album by MSG on vinyl. We had an old record player in our flat and we put that on and we were just blown away. We'd sort of forgotten how good he was, I think. We'd got carried away with Shred and we forgot about things like melody and touch and those classic pentatonic licks. So he's a player that came back into my life big. I'm just going to tick off here as I cover this. So that was kind of like a couple of like guys who went back to through the 90s. I'm still listening to the players I've discussed before. When the noughties hit, a player who I got turned on to, I'd seen him with Danger back in 92, is Andy Timmons. So he did an album called That Was Then, This Is Now. It had 5 new tracks, and there was a compilation of his Ear Ecstasy albums, which I hadn't heard. So it kind of works really well as an album. If I'm honest, that's the only album I've got by him. The playing's phenomenal. It's one of those things, it's just one album, that's all I need. It's quite long, there's enough tracks on it. You know, they call him the Tone Master, and it's difficult not to want to play better guitar or pick up guitar when you hear the guy play. Probably one of the most influential players via YouTube over the last 20 years. So he's like a new top 10 guy. Also, kind of it'd be unfair not to say John Petrucci. I mean, John Petrucci kind of basically kept guitar going for me in the 90s, along with Zach and Dimebag and Marty Friedman, people like that. But more so, although I'm not as fussed with Dream Theater now, I regularly get a copy of their albums when they come out. And John Petrucci always pulls off, like, you know, some stellar solos. I think recently there was a track called The Best of Times they did back in the Black Clouds and Silver Lining album. The solo on that's just stunning. So, you know, Petrucci's like a guy I'm checking out, so I'm just ticking off my things. Still kind of more into Van Halen now. I kind of appreciate Van Halen even more now. Always cracking on about Van Halen with mates, putting on his early albums with David Roth. You know, like the Fair Warning album, it's so stellar. He's playing the sound, the solos. I was just thinking about it today. So he's never been far away, and Doug Aldrich is someone I've continued into this period following. He's done some with Whitesnake. He made a great record with Dio, Killing the Dragon. So he's continued to inspire. I still listen to Yngwie Malmsteen and Lynch. I'm always find myself going back to those. And Macalpine. I still love that stuff, although I don't kind of check out new stuff as much. A couple of players who kind of appreciate even more now. One's Dan Huff of Giant. I mentioned the Last of the Runaways album in the previous video, and after that in 92 he did an album called Time to Burn with Giant. He only came back and did one more album. He went into kind of sessions and working in Nashville, but he's so polished that I can't think of a player with a more professional sound and technique. You know, he's like a classic session player in that respect, but he's got like immense chops. So Dan Huff's a guy, like, he's really kind of, you know, up there for me. And the other guy's Red Beach. Red Beach is with Whitesnake and Wingers, kept doing really good stuff. and I've come to appreciate his rhythm playing more, and his writing more, and just, you know, just keeping going, you know. So it's picking me top 10 now. Well, let's go back. The top 10 from the 85-90s was George Lynch, Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Doug Aldrich, Eddie Van Halen, DeMartini, Ronnie Le Tekro, Kee Marcello and Tony Macalpine. Greg Howe just outside there, maybe Michael Lee Firkins. And then the kind of 10 now, I'd still say George Lynch and Malmsteen, you know, I still go back to them. Then I've got to have Michael Shannon, Uli John Roth, those Teutonic giants. Still got Doug Aldrich and Eddie Van Halen in there. And then Andy Timmins, John Petrucci, Dan Huff and Red Beach. I wouldn't put that in any kind of order. I don't really listen to YouTube playing much. I prefer people who make albums and write songs. And YouTube, there's some phenomenal players on it. The technique's stunning, but it's just my kind of preference. I love that era of the album and of guitarists who kind of play in a song context. Yeah, so, and that's the kind of 10 now, you know. But yeah, it's a big list of guitarists, and there's even more you can get out now there, out in the world of you know, what's out there online. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, feel free to subscribe to this channel, Edward Box Guitar Tuition, EPGT, or like I said, if you're interested in more kind of trolls of album reviews and that, go to my Bot Brack channel, Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, but it's kind of under the Edward Box name, and you can subscribe there. Cheers, thanks.